We see Momonosuke through the hole Big Mom fell through. Momo sees Yamato, and they speak. Momo mentions that Zunesha is coming, and Yamato replies, "What? The one from Odin's journal?" He then says, "Indeed, a companion of Joy Boy who committed a crime 800 years ago." What are your thoughts about this new revelation regarding Zunesha and Joy Boy?
It's on me?
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Because I think you went last.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, we already knew that Zunesha committed a crime 800 years ago, though.
Yeah, he spoke to Momonosuke and told Momonosuke about it.
We sure knew that. So I guess the added information is the fact that she was Joy Boy's companion.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the new information.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I think that plays into because Joy Boy did something in the past, right? I'm not saying he was messing up because didn't he apologize to the Fisherman
Joy Boy
Island?
apologized on the Poneglyph.
In Fisherman Island.
Yeah. So pretty much, he probably honestly just think about how it goes in One Piece. He's probably not in a bad way, but more like how Luffy, Gold Roger, and Zoro are. They're they start something or they end up in the middle of something, right? So there probably was a big situation, a war or whatever that resulted of Joy Boy doing something, and he probably involved a bunch of different, or escalated, and involving Unisa. Maybe he talked to animals. He was very animal friendly, or that was it could have been his pet or something that with Zunesha in the past. But Joy Boy, pretty much being Zunisha's commander is interesting because I guess I'm trying to just think because we already know he already had the ability to speak to, communicate with the voice of all things, communicate with animals and everything, right? So we got to figure out what that crime is because the why they said is just this animal. But it also doesn't make sense to me if it was a crime that committed 800 years ago, right? And they would sentence to this. Why was the world government believing that it disappeared or it was gone? Wouldn't they know about the crime and what the punishment for Zunesha? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, when I read it, I was just okay, that's dope. I didn't think too deep into it because I was we have so vague information about this and about Zunesha and about Joy Boy. But I just thought it was cool, when you get two Lord dumpable people connected, and it creates a bigger lore dump that you're gonna get. You know what I mean? It's now we know that Zunesha is directly tied to Joy Boy. When before it was, okay, this is a Kozuki thing, specifically. Now it's a straight up ancient kingdom, Zunesha Joy Boy kind of thing. Which, there's theories going around that she's the ancient weapon of Pluton and stuff, which is cool. I like that one. But with this, the biggest thing to me was some translations said Nakama, and it was to me that just sparks pirate crew. So was this a actual crewmate of Joy Boy? If Joy Boy is a captain of a crew, was this a crewmate of his for real? Versus they're just friends. Is this the Frankie of his crew type thing? So I don't know. I was intrigued by that. I think it's dope because they have the information and they still don't know for real. I feel like they knew who it was and what that represents, but they don't know why it's a companion because I don't think Odin knew. Maybe he did. We'll see. But I thought that was cool. I thought of a pirate crew specifically, and maybe Zunisha's the ship.
Yeah. So. For my thoughts, I wrote a couple notes down just because it made me think who Joy Boy is, and some weird thought came to my head that I remembered from when we were on Fishman Island. And I look back, and I feel like Oda Hime, Shirahoshi's mom, Neptune's wife from Fishman Island, I feel like she kind of was doing things that Neptune meant. Because I look back, Neptune said that Oda Hime was doing something that the forebearers of their ancestry had done. Mm-hmm. So basically, what she was trying to do is what they were trying to do 800 years ago. And I'm like, okay, so that's probably during Zunesha and Joy Boy's era. And I'm like, yo, if... And then there was a silhouette of Oda Hime talking. Let me see if I can find it. It's chapter 626, page 10.
Yeah.
She goes, along with that special mermaid will come one who can guide her to use her power for good. And then when that time comes, the world will change. That's what the legend says. In that silhouette, it kind of looks like Shanks. But it looks
I
like
remember that.
Luffy a little bit too. Because I was thinking to myself, is Joy Boy Luffy or is it Momonosuke? Like, because I remember people saying Joy Boy could be Momonosuke. Like, Oda might be just playing it off and being like, nah, it's not Luffy. It's actually Momo. But I don't think it's Momo. I really think that maybe, just maybe, Zoe survived on Zunisha's back for 800 years, right? And the Kazuki clan was also prevalent. The Kazuki clan and Wano might be very important to the ancient kingdom. It might have been a part of the ancient kingdom, which is why, like, Zunisha carries Zoe on its back, you know? And why, you know, Wano is so cool with Zoe and, like, why they're, like, you know, friends or, like, nakamas to the end. You know? It's why, like, Inu and Neko allowed Raizo to be on the island and they didn't say anything and they had their arm and leg cut off. It just brings more respectable traits to, like, what the ancient kingdom might have involved people-wise. So we might have had Zoe, and Zunisha's crime was probably doing something against its, I don't know, the user. Because as we know right now, like, the voice of all things doesn't work for everybody in the same way that the other person has it does. So, like, for example, Luffy couldn't tell Zunisha what to do. Momo could, though. So does that make Momonosuke Joy Boy? No. I would just say it's probably a special trait that only people of Wano or the Kazuki clan has. But it's also why it's tied to Joy Boy, because if they were in the ancient kingdom and they're sort of like cousins or distant relatives, then that might make them like second cousins of the D clan or something like that too. And the only person, so if that person said, yo, you committed a crime, you have to walk the rest of the seas, does that mean Joy Boy told Zunisha that she had to walk nonstop, like, as a crime? Because then now that brings the lore to, like, Joy Boy, like, are you doing stuff like this, bro? Like, this is what you're capable of?
I mean, hey.
It brings into so many theoretical, you know, thoughts and hypotheticals that it's never ending, and we can only go off the vague information that is, you know, being unfolded. But as we know right now, if somebody like Momonosuke from Wano, because we have to assume this is like a Fishman Island Poseidon trait, right?
Yeah.
Like, only mermaids can control the Sea Kings.
Right.
What if it's only Kazuki clan members can control Zunisha? That means that somebody from the Kazuki clan punished her because of whatever happened. It's very interesting.
I want to add two things to your point. Is going by that, but two
More minutes. Give it 2 more minutes.
To add to what you're saying, we think of Gold Roger, right? Who also had the voice of all things, but he said he needed Odin. He saw Odin out to finish his journey.
Yeah.
Adding to your point, but also too, we think of Odin's wife. She's from 800 years ago. She was trying to find Wano, found Odin, then married Odin. So she zeroed in on Wano and Odin. And Gold Roger, who could read the voices, said he needed Odin to help him. So it's like goes into your point where, like, there's something special about Suzuki Clan or Wano in general, because, like, I was always thinking, like, Momo, how are you able to hear the voice of, like, did you inherit that from your father? You know, is that a special that's being passed down through your generations? You know,
and you know, it's crazier, the Big Mom conversation with either Roger. Like, she's saying, is this a part of One Piece too? Is Wano a part of One Piece? And it's like, she knows something about One Piece that we don't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it fits into that whole thought process. So
I'll say this in regards to that. That's why I did like the other. That's why I said in the Discord that I liked the other translation better, because it said, "Are there clues hiding in this country as well?" Instead of, like, is it a part of One Piece? Because I thought that was, like, a weird way to say that, and the clues one just kind of made more sense to me. Because, like, is a piece of One Piece here? That's kind of wild. I mean, maybe that's what it is, but that just seemed weird. That seemed weird phrasing for me.